Hello and welcome to the third episode of Security by Behemoth. Today's topic is mobile device security. Like last week's topic, this is a fluid topic that could change for better or for worse in the near future. In the wake of today's announcement of the iPhone 5 and last week's announcement that 12 million unique user identification numbers had been hacked from the FBI, I felt that this was a relevant topic. To sort out the FBI issue first, 12 million UUIDs were hacked and compromised. This was not from the FBI. It was determined to be an offshoot of Anonymous known as Anti-Sec as the perpetrator, but the target was not the FBI. It was a company called Bluetooth, which is a firm that develops applications. So moving on. What is a mobile device? In this context, a mobile device is a cell phone or a tablet or anything running a mobile operating system such as Android, iOS, or Windows Mobile. Why should someone care about securing their phone? Simple. There are tools out there that allow hackers the ability to access the phones using other phones or Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. While using the other phone typically requires Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, you can use SMS, also known as text messaging, to perpetrate the attack. Another problem is that many new computers are coming built with a Bluetooth adapter from the factory, allowing hackers more mobility in doing such attacks. They can hang out in malls or restaurants and get unsuspecting people. So as the capability of the devices increase, people will do more on the device, leaving more sensitive data on the device for the intruder to pilfer through. More and more companies recognize this, and they are allowing the devices to be used within their corporate infrastructure in initiatives known as Bring Your Own Device, or BYOD. Additionally, there are solutions for people to jailbreak or root their devices on the internet that can be executed remotely or tethered, which means connected to the device. To back up a moment, jailbreaking is overriding Apple's built-in security infrastructure so that you can install applications that Apple has not approved. Rooting is the same thing, except it is applicable to Android phones. So these solutions, they can be used tethered or disconnected remotely to attack you. There are various ways this can be done. You could do a malformed text message, you could attack the signal itself, or you could attempt to enter using Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. This isn't even grazing the surface, because the manufacturers have their own snoopware that I discussed last week, such as Fake Blur XMPP and the other Android-specific applications that phone home about device usage. This brings the security conscientious person to the crossroads of, who do I want snooping? Do I want the manufacturer or do I want hacker snooping? Which non-secure method is safer? While during this vlog I am going to particularly talk about the iPhone, similar vulnerabilities exist in Android and Windows devices as well. To provide a little backup about that, Android and Apple are built using Linux, specifically the BSD build, whereas Windows is just a scaled-down version of Windows customized for mobile devices. The attack vectors for these are all identical, if not greater, than those of a normal laptop or desktop. Here's a scary scenario for you, especially for iPhone users. Absinthe, one of the leaders in the jailbreak exploits, can now be remotely executed. So, what does it matter? Well, it doesn't require the consent of the owner, for one. After this has been conducted, the easiest way to do it is via a Wi-Fi network. A session can be established using Secure Shell, which is an encrypted Linux file transfer protocol, so sniffers can't see what is happening, and the attacker can copy the entire phone, meaning pictures, phone records, contacts, texts, everything. The UUID, your phone number, and they can replicate this. Or they can exploit your text messages and pictures. Other exploits exist using the Metasploit framework to exploit Safari and other Apple programs, allowing the same unauthorized access. Another vector occurs when the victim leaves their Bluetooth or Wi-Fi enabled without a passcode to secure it. The attacker will pair their device or devices to that victim device and steal all the data, or implant something such as a keylogger or other bug within so that they can gain the information they want. If this is unsuccessful, some attackers will attempt to do a denial of service attack or send a specifically crafted text message to destroy the phone. These text messages are fairly easy to point out because it's nothing more than an empty square in the field with no other text, and more than likely it's going to come from a number you do not recognize. Finally, apps. Yes, it's a recurring theme. In this context, I'm referring to the permissions you give the apps on your phone. For example, can you think of any good reason why an alarm clock app on your phone should be able to make calls on your behalf or look at your contacts? Why does Adobe need to see your contacts or your usage data or get your GPS location? Especially in the Android arena, these apps are not tested or vetted. Anyone can write the app and upload it to the store, and no one's going to stop them. If you recall, in 2010 or 2011, it was discovered that the Pandora Music app was stealing people's information. This is what led to the disclosure of permissions in the Android marketplace itself, which is now known as Google Play. It didn't stop the app manufacturers from doing it. It only made them disclose it. And while it is not right per se, and I personally don't think it is ethical, all bases are covered legally. So my best advice to you is to disable your Wi-Fi or Bluetooth when not in use, and do not open any text messages from numbers you do not recognize. Be careful what Wi-Fi networks you connect your device to, and be sure that if you're connecting to something you're not familiar with, that you disconnect when you are finished. And finally, always look at what permissions the applications are getting access to. If you don't feel comfortable, don't install it or uninstall it. And that wraps up this week. I will probably touch this topic again as the scenery changes. With that being said, if you have any questions, you can contact me at behemoth.security@gmail.com. That is B3H3M0TH.security, or on Facebook at facebook.com/behemoth B3H3M0TH. I'm going to provide another shout out to the band Shallow Point for providing their song Self-Inflicted as the intro and outro music. You can find those guys on YouTube under Shallow Point Official. They also have a Facebook under Shallow Point, and they have a Google site at sites.google.com/site/the official Shallow Point. And until next week, stay secure.